which with any luck you'll be able to buy someday. So that's us. All right, see, I'm a little technical. So it's supposed to be about Atlantic, but this is kind of the other side of the Atlantic, which is called the Pacific. And it has to do with Asian influences in Peru. I spent some time in September on my sabbatical in Peru looking at Asian immigration. So I think I skipped this slide. So a lot of you guys know about the Millennial Galleons, of course. It's a bread and butter issue in world history. But coming back from Manila after the silver was offloaded, sometimes were Chinese people that came, mostly men that came to work as laborers in the 19th century, and some actually in the early 20th century. And to the point where today, there are over 1 million Peruvians who have a Chinese ancestry, causing them to actually put out that postage stamp a few years back. 2 of the prime ministers have been of Asian descent. One president, Fujimori, who was called El Chino, but was actually Japanese as well, right? So cuisine developed as a result of these men staying and marrying women. The Chinese men staying and marrying Indian women, and so it's called Chifa cuisine. And so what we're seeing today is a little piece of Chifa cuisine. So you can see it's emerged. I like this slide because you see Chifa Comidas Latinas, right? And then Chifa Palacio Restaurant Chinese. So if you're into fusion and world history, there you go. So the big chef of the new Peruvian cuisine is in front of you here. His name is Gaston Acurio. And he came back from Europe in the year 2000 and started a movement of new cuisine, which is tied to the nationalism of Peru, which has been rising after the horrible or difficult years of Fujimori shock, right? And so he ties the 4 different elements of Peruvian history into this: African, Native, European, and Chinese into this cuisine. And this is the hottest thing going in Latin America, and you can find, even in Chicago, here where I'm from, you can find it. So this is the definition of Chifa in Chinese. It can mean fried rice. It could be, it's a slang term for a number of different things, and it's also the restaurant. So the Chinese people that came were principally from Canton. And so you have the Cantonese cuisine that's merged with Andeans. So, all right, so I'm going to show you a little bit about how to make Chifa ceviche. So certainly you know about ceviche. It's a standard dish in South America. It's a dish that's been marinated usually in lime juice with various other things. This has got a Chinese element to it. Hopefully you'll get a copy of the recipes if you haven't yet. There's ginger, there's sesame oil, there's various other things in it, right? I wanted to show, as part of my presentation, that tell you about this knife. Some of you know about this knife. So I don't usually keep my knives sharp, but these are great knives for, you can smash garlic. There's all kinds of things to do with these knives, right? And it's got more of a lateral action, control over it. But usually I don't keep my knives sharp, but I sharpened them up 3 nights ago in preparation for this. It slipped off the cutting board. I grabbed it and I got caught it with the business end. So that's not going to happen tonight. So let's make some ceviche. First we'll start with the fish. Usually white fish is the best. You know, so let's see how far away I'm staying from this. So strips, basically. That was close. I like to have, like, little rectangular strips of it. I like it. It's good. Scallops makes good ceviche. White fish of any kind, cod is really good. Trout. Anyway, so the first step is always to cut the fish, and then if you and then it's marinated in lime juice. All right. So for about 4 hours usually. But when I was in South America, I was learning that a lot of people they're actually not doing it. They're doing it more sushi style. A lot of chefs are. So personally, I like it better when it's been marinated. So that's what you guys are going to get tonight. But right now, this won't be, of course. So imagine 4 hours later. And then many other things go into it. So We've got some chopped cilantro. We've got scallions. Normally I would put chilies in it, but this is actually Gaston's recipe. I didn't want to mess with it too much. So a little bit of hot pepper here. Peanuts, which is actually garnished, but I'm putting them in right now. And I usually chop them up, but this is live TV. Sesame oil. And then, oh, this is the garnish. Okay. So then we're going to mix this up a little bit. I guess I could not be a chef and actually use a spoon here. All up, right? Get out of here. And then this particular recipe has an addition of pickled vegetables, which were done separately, right? Add those in there. This is what you won't be eating this exact bowl here, but this is what you'll be having. So, and then if I can probably, none of those are slotted probably. That's okay. You have a slot spoon? Yep. Yeah, chef. I'll just give it a little bit of a presentation there. Is the camera getting that, dude? Yeah. You got the camera right a little bit of peanut garnish, crisp wontons, okay? So there you go, fusion food, Chinese, Cantonese, and Indian cuisine. Bon appetit.